Don't blink, it's your boy Yink. Welcome to our show. Continuing up with having a wonderful day on this 16 July 2025. Tired as fuck. This is the part 4, which is not supposed to happen. My apologies for that. I'm truly sorry, but we have a good reason, or as much of a good reason as you can think about. Reason as to why we have part 6 is because my phone closed. I dropped it. I closed it. However, battery then died, so we have to continue. Y'all have to forgive the AC. The reason why the AC is on is because I live in an old apartment in an old building where there's a lot of older people, and what I'll do, however, is I'll there you go. That's perfect. That is perfect. Isn't that nice? That's not too loud, I hope. So, I live in an old building with a lot of older people. Older people don't have much muscle mass. Muscle mass is a way of protecting yourself against the cold. So with Eric, there's always going to be this question of, did Howard go too far? Now, I'm a fan of Howard. I think that he's a great interviewer. Did he go too far? There's a lot of things that he did that shouldn't have been done, but at least not with Eric. See, Eric was a very sensitive piece of shit. And I mean this, a very sensitive, let me say it again, a very sensitive piece of shit. So Eric had a feeling of vengeance. Our name is in Vendetta, and even us, we are less vindictive than Eric. Eric felt that the world owed him something when the world didn't owe him shit. Now, what did that do? What did that create? Well, it created an environment where Eric felt that people were asshole to him when they weren't. Ergo, a pretty shitty situation. The problem with Eric was he felt the need. For example, the problem with Eric is, if you look at the beginning of Eric, there's a video on YouTube called The Chronological Order of Eric, the actor calling. And at first he's very quiet. At first he's very calm. At first he's a fan of the show. And you feel bad for the guy because he has nothing but the show. He's watching American Idol, and then he's watching the show. That's all he basically can do with his life, which kind of sucks, right? It kind of sucks, absolutely. So then he only has the show, and because he only has the show, then he's kind of let down. So he gets to call the show, and then Howard, here's the situation. And at first, Howard didn't, and this is the beauty of it. This is the real beauty of it, and we're gonna be talking a lot, so it'll be a long video. Get ready, because this is gonna be a fucking mess of a show. Howard didn't. He didn't make automatically Eric a wet pack. It was the way that Eric acted that made him a wet pack, not his body. So then Howard felt bad for him, and he gave him $500 a couple of times. And then Eric started asking something. So, for example, Eric wanted to plug. Eric was. It sucked. Eric at the end was disgusting. Insulting Artie, insulting Robin, insulting everybody but Howard, and even sometimes insulting Howard. There was just one golden rule. Forget show business. There's just one rule in life. Never bite the hand that feeds you. You never do that. And Eric did that. See, the thing with Eric, which was disgusting, was at the end, he was calling in just to plug his show, which I think is disgusting. I think it's wrong. I think you should do that. For example, he said, hey, go to my website. Bro, the simple reason why you feel that you can sell merch is thanks to Howard, and you're using Howard's show to plug your shit, right? And then he would use the show to plug his shit, but then get mad when they criticize the show. Bro, the show only exists because of them, so they have this part of responsibility. For example, right? I have a small channel. I get a shout out from someone, and they start criticizing my videos. And because they criticize my videos, I get some following. I understand that the following is thanks to them. And does that forgive what they're doing? No. But can I bite the hand that feeds me? No. And that's what he did. Eric treated people like shit. He treated Howard like shit. Howard got him a scene in Fargo, and it was a nightmare to work with. People would kill for that chance. Eric would call in every single day. When people would call for weeks and not get an answer, Eric would be on every single day. Howard lost subscribers. Howard lost listeners because of Eric. Eric didn't give a single shit. Eric was always calling to ask for something. Ask for something. Every single time he would ask for something. And that is okay. That is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with needing help. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is he felt entitled. He felt like they owe him. And also the problem is you're calling to a show where you're basically insulting everyone, and then you don't insult one person because you don't insult the main person in the show. Like, hey, give me some candy. Shit. No, fuck you, dude. There's no candy to be had. Now, there's this very good point that could be made. At first, Eric wasn't that bad, and it kind of is. It's exposure to the show. So, what exactly happened is that exposure to the show got him hated, and because it got him hated, people started making fun of him, and because people start making fun of him, what is the stop? People share me videos. Stop. It's fucking annoying. There's this fake account that's sending me videos, and I know that she's a fake account because I saw the picture on a porn website, so I know it's fake, right? So yeah, it's kind of insane.
Ça n'a pas été une journée facile aujourd'hui, comme vous avez su.
Smoking
Session nous a quittés aujourd'hui.
Because what I'm gonna do is.
J'ai une journée vraiment difficile, j'ai pleuré toute la journée. Demain soir, tous ceux qui connaissent Smoking Session ou qui connaissent Smoking Session, je vais faire un live en hommage à lui. Je suis pas bon pour faire de la guitare ou de la musique, j'ai pas avec tous les instruments là. Mais si vous voulez venir vous recueillir puis venir parler sur mon live des moments que vous avez vécu avec cette personne-là ou...
Okay, good. So there's no live tonight because I like watching TikTok battles. It's a freak show. It's a bit like Howard Stern, so I kind of like it. It's nice, bro. It's nice. So yeah, so the point could be made that so Eric getting some hate from the fan base could have made him hate the show. And then the very specific relationship between Howard and Eric was Howard felt bad for Eric, but also felt the comedy. See, Howard, which is an amazing host, saw the opportunity, and all he had to do was cross the line, right? And then you can ask yourself, dude, why cross the line at all? The reason as to why is actually quite simple. Eric was calling at every single radio station. Howard wasn't special. Howard was the only one dealing with that guy. So Howard, because he was dealing with that guy, was like, you know what? I'm the only person willing to deal with you, so you're going to be playing by my rule. If you're not happy, call somebody else. Or wait, you can't, right? So there was definitely a question of leverage. However, Howard saw Eric as a golden opportunity to... This is absolutely a fascinating thing. This is absolutely fascinating because Howard saw Eric as something that was super entertaining, right? And then he took it upon himself, like, you know what? You're entertaining. I'm gonna be needing you for my show because you're entertaining. However, I'll take care of you. So this is basically this is questionable because you're kind of taking advantage of somebody's misfortune for the show, or you take care of them. You take care of him. Howard got Eric some ads, got him a part in a movie, got him part in a lot of things. He did a lot. He made him the star that he was. If it wasn't for Howard, Eric wouldn't be nothing. Eric owed everything to Howard, right? And yes, he was the butt of the joke, yes. But at the same time, you know the craziest thing with Eric? It was the butt of the joke. But he called in every day. All he had to do was to start calling. But then again, he get dependent. Now, Howard is to blame too. Because Howard allowed Eric to verbalize his aggression. Howard allowed Eric to be obnoxious, to be demanding, to demand things from Howard because he would say yes. you're enabling a behavior that's bad. So, by definition, you're enabling a bad person to do bad action, and that's your fault. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? At the same time, with Howard, it was bittersweet because people in his team were like, dude, you have to stop getting him. I know he's part of the show. I know he makes us money, but he's not respecting everybody, right? It was bad. It was really bad. They lost potential viewer because of that. And everybody didn't give a shit. And then, but there's also beautiful moments. They really took care of him, you know? And the most beautiful thing about it is, and actually made me emotional. Howard said to Eric, he said, I understand you. I'm not pretty. You think it was easy for me to get laid? I needed help. And if I had to throw money around, I had to throw money around. You understood, Eric? And that sucks. That sucks. Eric spit on everybody. He bite every end that fed him. And ultimately, that's what led to his downfall. It wasn't Howard's fault. It was his own fault. But at the same time, it gave us so many good moments. See, this is the important thing. So the Playboy Bunny, the Playboy Ranch. Thanks to Howard, he went to the Playboy Ranch, which is great. Which is absolutely great. But at the same time, when it was time to stop, who stopped him? Howard Stern. The whole Kendra thing, she only cared about Eric for the show. Who was the one that protected him against Kendra? Howard Stern. Howard Stern was in control of everything. And he was beneficial. He was working and controlling things for the benefit of Eric to protect him. Because he felt like he owed Eric. Not because Eric brought a lot of customers to the show, but because Eric looked at him as sort of a provider. See, provider can be a lot of things. It could be financial, but it can also be emotional. It can also be protection. That was fantastic. That was fantastic. Like, the moment between those two, and it's kind of nuts because it's not about at all chemistry. They had no chemistry. It was a dude that was calling him angry